AI for AI initiative designed to introduce artificial intelligence to Hausa speakers across Nigeria and beyond. It provides short, accessible lessons on AI in Hausa, downloadable from the NITDA website and shareable via phone. This is the first initiative of its kind in Africa, he said. The state has also partnered with Grisoft Technologies to launch the...
That is the reality that is on the ground. So there are a lot of people that are going to lose their jobs. Now, if the government is ready and they want to embrace tech, I can tell you, like this organization, you know, before you have people in radio station, a single person will be on the console. We handle everything. In the past, you will see somebody who will go and be looking for the cassette for a particular music to slot it in and all. You just say somewhere and just touch a button and the music will just pop up. This thing will just select and give it to you. So one single person can do what even 100 persons are employed to do. That is going to, a lot of people are afraid that is going to, that if we are able to pick this tech, what the direction tech is going is that, let the tech come in, let's collaborate with the tech, and then use it to our advantage by advancing. Do you understand? Technically, use it to our advantage instead of seeing the negative side that, oh, it's going to lead to people losing their job. Now, these people now, these very particular people in focus, these ladies, in fact, I can tell you, if they are trained,
don't know how to operate gadgets, you know. Yes. And I wanted, do you think that eventually gadgets might be provided for them to use for continuous purposes to enhance their learning, their learning skill? Because like you said, education, learning is continuous. Yes. It's not something you do and then you take a break or a pause. You have to continue. You have to keep practicing because practice makes perfect. Do you think that this is something that they will want to hold on to and not any other kind of thing?
There you go, and that is the ultimate challenge in the Nigerian system. What is the intention? Do you understand? What is the intention?
Are you trying to say, in essence, that this initiative that has been set is not to help the citizens, the rural women in question? Are you saying it's not to, for the government, it's not trying to help them, to bring out the best out of them? Are you trying to say, in your word, that it's to their own...
believes in rice palliative? It's very unfortunate and very sad. I must tell you that. Nigeria is the only member of OPEC that don't have a functional refinery. We have 4 refineries that they are left moribund. The economic holocaust we are having in this country now is on gas, oil, what do you call it? Energy. They know that if they allow and empower the youth of the oil producing areas to refine this product, that this economic holocaust will disappear. They don't want it to disappear. They are benefiting from it. You hear them talk about taking loan, and then central bank will come and tell you the poor of the poor don't have account to have the rate and
how do you mean they are benefiting from it? Those loans that have been taken, they use it to implement, to use it to sort out the national problem and the need. Don't you think that they use it to implement the need why they took those loans?
They don't. They only borrow money to... There is no government of the world that can borrow money and share. You had this concept of from consumption to production. Then the present government believe in from the reverse is the case. See, let me say something to you. Let's say you are fair by nature. Nature is fair to you, as it were. There are people. After some time, you will see the time not coming back because of quarrel between husband and wife. Most of those who left the country on this Japa syndrome, in UK particularly, because with the Brexit, you before leaving the European Union, so the British government is indirectly looking for manpower. You have what happened when Oyema broke that route through Airpeace to London line. You saw how the foreign airlines were scampering for safety. The same thing, when you can no longer travel they have manpower to use to do their work. Right now, most Nigerian families are losing their children to the distance because I heard of a story of a particular family only no use card for transaction. Okay, I'll ask you, why are we not doing electronic voting? Why? The reason is simple. They know, look at the American election that just took place. They know that the moment we migrate to electronic voting, that Nigerians' power will be returned to the people, and the people can dictate what will happen, and they don't want that. They want a manual process that they can manipulate. They can steal the ballot box. So, somebody can declare election midnight, and all one no. Look, I'm saying something.
You're trying to say that this so the elections that were conducted were not accurate.
Accurate in what sense?
Accurate, like it was rightly done.
Nigerians voted. Are you listening to
yes.
me? Nigerians voted. You saw, let me give you an example of what happened in River State. Nigerians voted, but they voted.
Tertiary Health Institution Standards Committee, NITISC, which was tasked with the responsibility following its establishment under the National Health Act 2014 set to set and uphold minimum standards for the tertiary health facilities across the country, as well as to oversee and accreditates the regulation of organ transportation facilities. The document, which was reviewed and validated by the stakeholders, encompassed critical areas such as ethics, kidney transplantation, liver transplantation, eye tissue transplantation, bone marrow transplantation, and a chapter that addressed gametes and embryo donation, storage, and surrogacy. Director of Hospital Services and Secretary in National Tertiary Health Institution Standard Committee, Dr. Jimal Salawuddin, told newsmen on sideline of the events that the new guideline will be out at most by next month, December. Earlier in her remarks, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare, Ms. Kacholom Daju, who was represented by Dr. Jimal Salawuddin, expressed concerns, saying in recent times, we have witnessed troubling incidents of alleged unwholesome practices involving organ harvesting. The guideline has already got its drafts. The gathering is to validate it, bringing together all the experts to look at it again for the second time, after which the minister signs and forward to Mr. President and he approves it. It becomes the policy, he says. It may be difficult to...
wherein I did a lot of deep search therein when the issue of Ekweremadu shot to limelight, whereof he was convicted in the UK. It's unfortunate. You see, there's a way the law works. Now, I'll use this practical example to drive home the point. It is not as if federal government does not know that Nigeria has what it takes to refine her crude oil locally for the benefit of all Nigerians. It's not as if government does not know. They know. But because of greedy gain by few criminal minds within the corridor of power, they will prefer this economic holocaust to continue. Now let's zero to what is going on. You know that under the 7th National Assembly, when Ekweremadu was the deputy Senate president, that was when the National Health Act came into effect. And that National Health Act was sponsored by outsiders, enemies of this country.
Are there proofs to this claim?
Yes. When we finish, go and Google. I will send it to you so that you can share it on the subsequent program with because God should bless the mother and the father for his boldness and tenacity and the position they took. You know, the National Health Act effectively signed off our organs. As we are sitting on this table, our organs are already signed off. Our organs, if we enter into a health facility, the chief medical director can determine if our organ can be harvested. Njemaze argued that for the first time, that there's this thing they call Helsinki Declaration, which is a binding this thing within the medical field. If I am to donate my organ, my consent must be obtained. If I'm so weak, my next of kin, there are people who are to be hauled in for medical emergency, and then they will ask somebody, either the husband, to sign. The issue of consent was removed from our law under the current National Health Act. And one danger that our leaders are blind, people are blind again.
I want you to rephrase that when you said our leaders are blind.
Majority of our leaders are blind.
Over what,
yes.
Please?
Blind to the extent that if they are driven by gain, inordinate greedy gain, they do not consider the consequences.
I would love to call you to order.
Okay.
Yes, I would love you to try as much as possible not to use vowel words. It's okay to express how you feel.
Yes, I'm being very careful.
Yes, it's okay to express how you feel. So I would love you to rephrase and maybe take your words accordingly and not use vowel words.
Okay, now that's fine. I give you an example like this Ekweremadu case.
Okay.
If what Ekweremadu did went to Nigerian courts, Ekweremadu was a free man. Take out time and listen to the judgment. Hope. I am sure that they are now victims of the state of the law. Are you listening? Now, this committee that came up now,
okay,
they have seen the dangerous effect of this removal of consent and some other aspects that are still present in most of the international law practice. In Nigerian case, it's a different thing altogether. I hope they will amend the main law and then take into consideration that people who are living here are human beings. Because from what that report is saying, there's a spike in illegal organ harvesting.
But that's not what it states. It's not exactly.
That's what. And everybody is equal to the. Everybody can be taken down by the law. People regulate themselves. Okay. Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
So I do hope that this regulation that they are trying to bring up to check this illegal organ harvesting, I do hope that they will take quick step on it and amend the main law. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Which was powered by Bill Gates then, and some other international interest group, okay, that passed the National Health Act. I hope they will be able to touch those relevant sections and amend them to save the life of Nigerians. Okay. That will be good for us.
Thank you for your farmers with quality seeds as well as grains. For the 2024 and 2025 dry season farming, the project is targeted to support 250,000 wheat farmers across the wheat producing states with subsidized agricultural inputs to cultivate about 250,000 hectares with an expected output of about 750,000 metric tons of wheat to be added to the food reserve to reduce dependence on importation of the products and also increase domestic consumption. Similarly, the program will provide support to 150,000 rice or farmers under the second phase to cover all the 37 states, including FCT, with an expected output of about...
River State.
You said the individuals pay taxes to go to farm.
Yes, to bandits. We are not aware of this. Let me give you, I will tell you something that will shock you here. Even in River State here, these criminal element within the herdsmen, they are operating with audacious impunity. I'm a real estate consultant. I've had occasion of meeting some people within area like Abara and people and the rest of them, Ishoku and the rest. This is where real estate activities are thriving. And I ask the people, by my ethnic foundation, and in 1 month's time, they can make all the refineries functional. And there will be surplus byproduct of the crude oil for Nigerians to use as the best market price. The same thing to this issue of insecurity. If they tell you how much they are collecting per month as per, what do you call it, security fee, you'll be shocked. These things are not disclosed. What are they using the money for? Perhaps I feel that they are thinking that if we wipe out this thing, then we'll not have justification for the collection of this money. How is such thinking coming? Nigerians are being killed in droves. Nigerians are dying in the hand. The most painful aspect of this is that these terrorists are foreigners. They are not Nigerians. And there are individuals in this country that have made statements that Allah gave Nigeria as a help. Destroy all your crops and you are helpless. You go to report to a security agent, they tell you there is nothing they can do.
Thank you, Barrister, for your analysis. We'll go on a quick short break, and when we return, we'll continue on our news. Do stay with us. Welcome back. We have the Justice Marian Anini of the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Mayatama, Abuja. Hearing notice at his last known address. He stated, "I will humbly pray you'll have time for the first defendants to be present in court. We believe it would not be appropriate to proceed while the 30-day period is still active." Meanwhile, Bello's co-defendants, Oricha and Hudu, have been granted administrative bail by the EFCC. Aliyu Saki, SAN, counsel for the second defendant, confirmed the bail and voiced no objection to the adjournment request. The EFCC prosecutor informed the court that an arrangement had been reached with the defense team to reconvene on November 27, as the previous date of November 20 was inconvenient, After hearing submissions from all parties, the judge granted the EFCC's request for an adjournment and approved the posting of the hearing notice at Bello's residence. The trial judge then adjourned the case to November 27 for arraignment. It states, I have considered the application for adjournment by the complainant, the issuance of a hearing notice, and the submissions from the second and third defendants. The application is granted, she said. Samanki, you are a bad.
Well, people, get away with it. If you look at the federal government, you have been a lot of cases lost out. Development or whatever that money would have given them. You not transfer the money to federal. I have my own personal view. You may ask me, why am I sounding that pessimistic? Don't I have faith in the law? Don't I believe that our law is working? You realize lodge in Abuja and all whatnot, all the drama that was going on. At the end of the day, the question is, what is the level of investigation that has been done by the prosecution? Are we not going to see a situation wherein this matter will be struck out and come to court? Whoever is heading any agency. And when this thing permeates and runs down, you heard about the medical doctors we are talking about. Why would they operate with that level of impunity? It's because of what they are seeing. And they know that you can do certain things and get away with it. The moment the issue of consequence, people know that they can do things and get away with it without any consequence. Forget it, that system is gone. And that's what we find here. It's a very funny situation.
So are you trying to say in essence that, I
don't see anything substantial that will come out of it in the light of what has transpired so far to this point? Do you understand?
Well, the case has been in court since.
Of course, it's been in court.
Under investigation because it's an alleged.
In fact, I'm sure that woman was praying that drama should happen in court. And God answered her prayer. Amazing. And that, they were using the judicial system manipulatively to the point of holding nation and all whatnot. You just use the law, manipulate, just turn the law upside down. In fact, me court of appeal came into that matter. And this something excellent and order that the young man should be released. The government is unwilling. It's in the DSS dungeon till now that we are talking. It's a very funny situation. So, to me, if you ask me if I lost confidence in the judiciary system.
Yeah, I actually wanted to get to that. Why do you feel that the system is not working? I don't know. Why do you lose confidence?
You see,
the EFCC have actually been making...
I don't care who is involved. When you do justice, it brings about peace.
But we are not certain about what the court's judgments would be yet.
No.
So we
cold hash egg. An expert in agric can tell you that. You see that one that is limping there is a cockerel. You will doubt. You will argue. He's been there in this field. He has seen a sign that gives him the impression that just hatched egg, a chick. Acts to act in that way. You will see anything that deals with this executive, the executive. Isn't it this government that said if you move to a particular side, that your sins are forgiven? And people make such comments.
We're angry. Those profiting from the would have crashed even further. Adeboye emphasized that his concerns are non-political, highlighting his calling as a minister, not a politician. He continued, he said, God raised someone willing to build a private refinery, ensuring at least one refinery would function if the government did not. Yet, this man was forced to import crude from America because certain people refused to supply him locally. When he was finally allowed access, they still tried to control the price at which he could sell. Adeboye urged Nigerians to pray this against these obstacles, warning that the insistence on maintaining fuel importation hurts the economy and raises the cost of petroleum products, impacting the lives of all Nigerians.
And his co-servants of God in Nigeria.
Why would you say that?
Yes, I say I'm disappointed to the extent that, see, the moment your fear of God does not cross ethnic boundary, you have lost my respect. The moment your fear of God does, is limited by ethnic consideration, you have lost my respect. I am a disciple of Martin Luther King Jr., Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He's a liberation theologian, and I believe in him very strongly. And I can tell you, I remember if you know about Martin Luther King, there is this famous letter written from Birmingham prison when appointments with the church has grown into outright disgust, unquote.
So